Hi everybody, Highway Prepper Chick here, and tonight what we're doing is I have these 2 jars of goat bone broth. What I did was I took the spine and rump of a goat and put it in the crock pot overnight and had all the bones and everything in there. And I took the broth and filtered it, and the goat broth is very low fat, so there's not a lot of fat in here. You can see that right there. Okay. And I'm going to try to freeze dry it and get some goat broth bouillons. I have these 1 cup trays, and so I'm going to put a cup in there, freeze it, and it may take a couple tries because I only have 1 tray, and then I'm going to freeze dry the cubes and see if we get some goat broth bouillon. Let's see how this works. So here we are back at the freeze dryer, and we did add about 4 more hours to this just because I did not feel it could even be done. So let me go ahead and get this popped open. So what we have in here is we have a couple steaks. And those are coming up as done. And I can tell from how light they are and the feel of them, there's no cold spots. Everything's redone done. And then the fat there. Thought we got some there for a second. And I'm pulling out. So those are done. I might trim that fat off there. And we got some eggs. These are just raw eggs, about 3 dozen. Well, not in just this tray. I did a total of about 3 dozen. And here we have the goat bouillon on these 2 trays. Remember I put them in the 1, 2, and 2 cup. And some of them feel done, some of them not. See that one? Got a wet spot in there. So what I'll do is I'll just take this whole tray and so that one's also got a wet spot. I'll probably cut these in half. Oh, it's really wet. And then put them back in for another load with some other stuff. And this tray I have.
What is it that you're using?
This is a wood moisture meter, and it works just fine for finding out if you have moisture in them. And when things don't come up, things that I'm actually suspicious about, like I can feel the cold spots in them, and see this isn't coming up, I'll stab it in several different spots to truly make sure. And here I have more egg, and what I did was I separated. Some recipes call for just egg white or egg yolk. So go ahead and ooh, look, that one just came out. Well, that's interesting. There we go. And on this top shelf, I have some chili. Got a little egg on there. Some chili. And it's nice and done. It's not reading anything. And then some very thin, fully cooked. This was a roast that my husband smoked. Oh, and it was delicious. So we got these and use them for sandwiches on the truck. So let me go ahead and get this packaged up. While packaging, I noticed this fat on one of the steaks, and it is dry. I tested it several times, but I'm not sure how long it would keep. So I went ahead and just trimmed the fat off of both steaks. Though, on a side note, I did want to point out that the ones in here that the yolks did not break actually come out almost like the full egg. Miss a little bit of the yolk, or the little bit of the white, but for the most part, the whole egg comes out. That's pretty nifty. And all separated in here. It's pretty cool. And you can see I used one of Harvest Right's silicone mats. Now what I do want to point out is, well, I love these mats. They're absolutely amazing. Anytime you have anything slightly liquid, just be warned that they're not perfect. So, of course, it's gonna go under. I was hoping that the egg would be thick enough not to seep under the mat, but who am I fooling? So, lesson learned. Next time I'll just put it on the tray. And here's the eggs in the blender. I'm going to go ahead and get that last little bit off of the trays here. And then we'll go ahead and powderize these. And there we go. There's about a dozen powdered freeze-dried eggs. Now you would use these in recipes about the same ratio when you use any powdered egg. Okay, so what I've decided for these eggs that are separated, I'm going to go ahead and try to leave them in the cubes as much as possible. But instead of individually sealing each egg white and each yolk, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in these resealable Mylar bags. And I will impulse seal them so that they can last longer until I need them. And so I'm going to separate them. I have one of egg yolks and another of the egg whites. As long as I can get them out of these little cubes staying. The egg whites like to just really crumble, but if you're real careful, you can pull them out. So, and I believe it was two squares for one egg white. So, get these packaged up, and then we will put the goat bone broth bouillon back in the freeze dryer. I'm going to go ahead and break each of these in half, and then we'll go ahead and put those in our next load. So give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe so that you get that notification for part 2 on the goat bone broth video when it comes out. Thank you. Have a great day.